of the Eagles Elite podcast. And guess what? We Eagles and nobody likes us, and we don't care.
We don't care.
We never have.
Not at all.
We don't like you either. But back again to discuss a very important event in the life of a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and that's the draft. And in the past, I'm gonna say real quick, I'm gonna let these two gentlemen do most of the talking tonight, right? But real quick, in the past, most of what we talk about is how scared we are about draft picks. I still have nightmares about 2 years ago, and I'm sure Mo does too, when we were on and we picked Jalen Rager. But we fixed that, right? We righted that wrong. So we're going to let that go slightly. Still in the back of your mind, but we're going to let that go slightly. After this past draft that we had, man, we living pretty good right now. It's still some things that we need to do to make the team complete and get ready for the season to start. But, bruh, I can't recall a draft where we did as good as we did right now in the past 10, 15 years. So, we're going to jump into it, guys. This is your boy, Cool McCain. And with me also, I have, and guys, please introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
All right. You want to go, Mo?
Yeah, this is Mojo out here, straight out of Philly. Lifelong fan. Let's get it done.
Yeah, and I'm Wyatt from Squad Pod Sports, part of the Sideline Sports Network. Make sure to go check out our show every Thursday. But yeah, lifelong Eagles fan, man. Super excited here for the season, especially after this draft.
Man, holes needed to be filled. A lot of smoke screens on what we were going to do. But what we got was round one, a quick move up, just to make sure that we got the player that we wanted. And that was Jordan Davis, defensive tackle from Georgia. We did, I believe, have to get in front of Baltimore in order to grab him.
Yeah.
He's a run stopper. He's an anchor. He's a defensive tackle. You always need those guys. So while we're going to start with you, man, tell me your thoughts on that pick.
I thought it was a great pick. I mean, I didn't really know too much about Jordan Davis, but going back and looking at him, just looking at him, he's a huge guy. Even compared to like the other, defensive tackles there. He's going to be great on that D line, especially, with the pickup of Hassan Reddick, signed Fletcher Cox to another 1 year, like a 1 year deal here. You still got like Josh Sweat, you got Javon Hargrave, all these other great players. Hopefully this will mean that we can get to a quarterback here a little bit more than we did last year, because that was one of the main problems, defense.
Very true. Very true. Mo, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, the defense definitely. I'm glad they addressed that right away. We couldn't stop anybody. We could put up points with the best of them, but couldn't stop anybody. The guy is huge. I looked at some of his film, and yeah, definitely. And if you look at our schedule, you got some backs that we're going to have to face. So yeah, he's the guy. He's going to be the guy. I think he makes an immediate impact.
So what's crazy about this guy, even in his size, he ran a 4.78 in the 40, bro.
Yeah, that's wild.
The fastest time ever by somebody 325 or bigger. Right. So this guy is quick. Jalen Hurts ran a 4.459 on his 40, just for comparison.
Wow.
And we know that Jalen Hurts is fast. So the big question that people have about him is, can he rush the passer? So my thought process is this. This is just me, and you guys can chime in on this as well. I think you brought him in to be a run stuffer. You brought him in to kind of take out that middle. You brought him in to say, we're not gonna allow you to bust yourself up the middle on us anymore. You've done it in the past, no longer. So we're getting a big body in there. And as you said, watching the film is important. This is a guy that, when you look at the stats, he doesn't have all the amazing stats, but that's because he's a run stuffer. He makes you play around him. Everyone can't do that, and we have a guy that can. So Mo, what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's last year we got gassed over and over and over again. Every game it seemed like, everybody could run on us, even though our run game was fantastic. If you're not stopping the other guys, what are we doing? What are we really doing here? So when you put that kind of size and that kind of speed in the middle there, it's just automatic,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Anything you want to add, Wyatt?
Yeah, man. I think, with that type of player, he's going to make that rest of that defensive line better. You know, I mean, with such a big body there, he's going to be able to stop the run, like you're saying. But you know, they're probably going to have to try to double team him. I feel like because of how big he is. You know, that could also put some pressure off of maybe Cox or whoever is next to him, wherever they put him on the line. But I think that should definitely benefit that line. You know, past just the run game there, like you were saying.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely one of the pieces that we added. But another huge piece that we were able to add was through trade. So we were able to drop the 18th pick overall, first round pick, and the 4th round pick, 101 overall, and grab, to me, the steal of free agency signings, trades, whatever. Well, I should say trades, not free agency signings, because we did have to give up something for him. But the steal of free agency signings when we actually signed AJ Brown. So we brought in AJ Brown via trade, and then we signed him to a 4-year, $100 million contract, $57 million guaranteed. That does not take effect until after this coming season. So this coming season, he's $4 million against the cap. That's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know that
at
aspect.
First, I was skeptical. Yeah, I was skeptical at first, like, man, $100 million, but to get him where we got him and for what we gave up, it was like you said, the steal of the draft. You're giving up a 1st round pick and a 3rd, 4th round pick. That for a guy that's already proven as basically, better than anybody that was coming off the board. So yeah, again, immediate impact. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting a little nervous there before the draft just because, on Twitter and, all these reporters and beat writers saying that one of the most active GMs was Howie Roseman, either just trying to trade up or, work some deals out. Made me a little nervous. And I mean, with that first pick, he traded up just like 2 spots to get him. I was like, okay, what else Howie got up his sleeve here? And then bam, this happened. Man, this is huge, absolutely huge. As you guys know, like we never spend money on wide receivers. Like this is, So that not only the trade was crazy, but also that deal on top of it was pretty mind blowing at the time. But this is huge for the offense. I mean, to pair with Devontae Smith, and then you got Quez Watkins as the 3rd option, who's also a speedster. This offense could be dangerous. It's going to open up the middle there for Dallas Goedert a lot. So pick your poison with this offense, because then you have a strong run game, the top run game in the league last year, pretty much.
Yeah. Do you look
I was wondering, did you feel like when they moved up and got Jordan Davis, did they really move up to get him, or were they moving up to get a receiver, but the receivers they were looking at were gone, so that kind of got the ball rolling on the whole AJ Brown move? I'm still skeptical, still not sure about that move up, if it was actually to get Davis or one of those top flight receivers.
Yeah, I saw a lot of things about how the Ravens were very interested in Davis, so that could have been part of the reason. I mean, I feel like a lot of the prospects that the Eagles were looking at got taken very early. Like they were kind of expecting a couple of these guys to fall a little bit. And I think that may have messed up their plans. I don't know what their initial thought was, though. I would imagine the AJ Brown was kind of in talks early, though, before the draft even started, though. Right, I feel like, with the contract details and stuff, that was probably worked out way ahead of time.
Yeah. AJ Brown said he knew that morning that he was going to be traded to Philadelphia, and they were working on the contract.
Oh, wow.
So they didn't trade up to get a receiver. They knew who they were getting a receiver. So that was that. The amazing part of this trade for me, there's a couple of different things. Number one, this instantly makes Jalen Hurts better.
Yeah.
Number one, this instantly makes Devontae Smith better. It makes Quez Watkins better. It makes Zach Pascal, another guy that we brought in who can run routes, block, and do everything that you ask out of a receiver. Way better upgrade from JJ Arcega-Whiteside. It's going to make Goddard better, like you said. It's going to make the running game better. There you have 2 guys on both sides, wherever you decide to place who on whichever side, that you have to plan for and you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
We haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Jeremy Maclin in 2014.
Right.
Yeah. We were close this past
season. We were close. We would have had this
Smith had a great year. Can you imagine what Smith's year is going to look like now?
He should have had a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have had a 1,000-yard season, but we're going to have, I believe, 2 guys have 1,000-yard season this year. And I believe it's going to be AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I think you're going to be able to play off both, because what you're going to have to do is pick your poison. Do you want Smith on your number 2, or do you want Brown on your number 2? Your number 1 can't guard both of them. Or do you want to move them around? Do you want guys to play whatever side of the field? How are you going to handle that? So that's going to be important. Goddard's a big part of that as well, because as a tight end, he's a guy that's going to eat up space. He's a guy that you have to pay attention to as well. Now, I want to say this about the running backs. Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, whoever else we put back there. If y'all don't get off this year, it's time for you to get up out of town, because that means you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is
I
everything.
agree.
Then if you look at Jalen Hurts, this is going to make him so much better. Now he doesn't have to stare down 1 or 2 guys or feel less confident that guys are going to make the throw. You go from Jalen Reagor to A.J. Brown as the guy that's second behind Devontae Smith, or Devontae Smith second, however you want to frame it. But that's a huge upgrade just right there. That's a huge upgrade in comfort. That's a huge upgrade in play calling, physicality, everything. A.J. Brown is a bona fide top 5 receiver, and now he's on the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 11 jerseys mean something again.
Yeah, I had to wear mine. I got, take that nameplate off the back here. He who must not be named. Got to get that by got to do something with it here. But it feels good to be wearing an 11 jersey again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But what I was gonna say, I think with Jalen Hurts, if he's not able to do it with this offense, then you know for sure. Then all right, you may have to look somewhere else. But I mean, I have all the confidence in Hurts right now, especially with all the weapons you have, and you can lean on that run game to open up those weapons even more. There's no reason that he shouldn't succeed this year.
Right. And if the run game is anything like it was last year, I mean, they're everybody's going to complement everybody else. The whole offense. I mean, it's just way too many weapons to not be effective, against any defense. Seriously.
Yeah.
And A.J. Brown is Jalen Hurts' best friend. So then you got best friends playing together. So instant chemistry. Smith and him has great chemistry, man. I'm just excited to see them get out in that field and work, man. I'm excited.
And we didn't even mention Hurts's feet too. We talk about running back, using the running backs and the other weapons in the offense. But man, you got Hurts himself who can also, bust out for 20 yards easy.
Yeah, I think the
versatility is going to be a lot of space. There's going to be a
crazy.
lot of space because everybody's going to be covering somebody.
Oh yeah,
he's going to have a wide open lane plenty of times, I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like there should at least be someone open almost every play with this offense.
Right.
And man, it's going to be sick. All I'm going to say is it's going to be sick to watch. I don't have unrealistic expectations, but I do have high expectations because of what we saw last year, and giving Hurts another offseason to get his game better, giving him a chance to develop more, and then saying, we want you to come back into this offense. Second year in the offense, so you understand it a little bit better. You took your offseason. Hopefully you've been watching film. You've been doing all the things that you need to do on that end. And then we go out and get you a monster weapon. They're giving him everything he needs to be successful. Like you said, if he's not, then that's going to be a different story that we're going to be talking about this coming off season.
Yeah, and I think everybody was kind of skeptical because it seemed like Jeffrey Lurie was in on him. Of course, Sirianni was in on him. It seemed like Howie was the guy that really wasn't sold on Hurts. But it seems like all in all, he was. It seemed like he worked with Hurts, try to go out, get A.J. Brown. It seemed like he'd do everything in his power to help Hurts succeed here. Maybe it would have been a little nicer if he would have done this kind of thing when the he who must not have be named was in town. I know you went out and got Alshon and stuff at that point in time, but none of those guys is A.J. Brown, man. But yeah, I take back most of the bad things I say about Howie Roseman.
Not all of them.
Now, I will say this.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Most of them.
I'll say this, man. 2 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to go out and get this caliber wide receiver for what we did. Because you have to think about, we can actually thank the Jacksonville Jaguars for this. Because when the Jacksonville Jaguars gave that asinine contract to Christian Kirk, that's what set all of this in motion. That's what made players be like, look, I want $25 million a year. I want $100 million contracts. So that all came up when a guy that's never been a number one, that's never really been a number two, got paid $20 million by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And as I said during the draft show, Tennessee Titans fans, For the next 2 years, you are my second favorite team, and I have nothing bad to say about you.
Okay.
But
So,
yeah,
yeah,
I
man.
mean, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's nothing but love. So we'll go ahead and move on to our second round pick, number 56 overall, Cameron Jurgens, center out of Nebraska. Mo, what do you think about this pickup?
Great pickup, necessary. Mirror image of of Kelsey. So yeah, let's get him. Let's get him in here. Get him trained up, and so we're not losing anything. Because I mean, you got to address it now. You don't want to wait until next year. You don't know what our guy's going to do. He gets hurt, he retires. So I'm glad they addressed it when they did. It was a great pickup too.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. At first, when the pick was announced, I wasn't too sure of it. I thought it was kind of an odd pick, but definitely seeing like the story behind it, that they actually had Kelsey really like looking at tape of all these centers the past 3 seasons, kind of figure out who his replacement was going to be. That really clicked with me. I felt like that was the perfect time, like you were saying. Rather get him now, learn under Kelsey for a year, and then go out. If Kelsey stays next year, that'd be great too. Who knows? But if he does retire, that'd be a great replacement there.
Initial thought when I saw the pick was we got his replacement. We got Kelsey's replacement. Because remember, they had to send him a keg of beer to get him to come back this year.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's not.
Yeah, who knows what it would cost
beer.
next year,
Exactly. So it never hurts to get the guy a year earlier than a year too late. Like you said, they were able to look and say, okay, this is who I want. This is who I think would be a good replacement. Couple important facts. Just like Kelsey, he's very athletic, tad bit undersized. But just like Kelsey, that allows you to be able to pull, be the lead on blocks to the outside for running back screens and different things that you can't do if you have a guy that has a little bit more of that bulk to him.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's going to be learning at the feet of one of the best centers in the history of the NFL. That goes for something. That's going to be a resource that I believe even after retirement, Kelsey's going to be a guy that he could talk to and, pick his brain. So I think that's going to be amazing for him. I think he follows it in the right time. I know we did draft Landon Dickerson last year, but he's played so well at guard. You don't want to mess up what's working. Let's just bring in another guy.
Yeah. And I mean, also you got Jeff Stoutland there coaching that offensive line, which is going to make him even better.
Freaking beast.
So he's going to, working with both those guys, man, he's going to be amazing, I feel.
Yeah, I think he ends up being a stud, a couple years down the line. It's not like we lost anything, Smooth transition.
Of all the coaches that Nick Sirianni brought in, including himself, Stoutland is my favorite by far.
Oh, for sure. And I'm glad that Howie and the organization takes the offensive line seriously. Because I mean, looking at all these other teams, I know like the Bengals, that's the first thing they fixed this offseason. But man, it was painful seeing Joey B out here getting drilled pretty much every other play. I'm glad we don't really have to deal with that, barring any injuries, setbacks.
Right.
They take care of that first and foremost, it seems.
And the big thing a lot of people want to talk about at that point of the draft is that we didn't address cornerback, safety, or edge rusher.
Yeah.
These are positions, cornerback, you can get guys because we only have a 7-round NFL draft now. The way guys were getting drafted that you didn't expect to get drafted as high as they did, and the focus on certain positions, you got to kind of figure out and say to yourself, do I want to just take this guy because he's a safety? Do I want to just take this guy because he's a corner? Or do I want to get the best available player to fit a need that we have? Because keep in mind, a lot of people did not want to acknowledge this, but we still had a need at linebacker, a huge need at linebacker going into this draft. We clearly had a need on the defensive line with Cox, having that 1-year deal and probably be going after this season, or at least after next season. So we needed to get that. We got that. We needed a wide receiver. We got the wide receiver. We need a replacement for Jason Kelsey, because this is what I think a lot of people don't focus on. If you don't get the center this year, when we're anticipating Kelsey probably playing this year and hanging it up next year at the most, then you're looking at a situation where you potentially are bringing in a new center and you don't have the guy there to mentor him, or they only get 1 year together versus 2, right? Something happens to Kelsey, he gets hurt, and he says, I'm done. We don't have anybody.
Right.
So we draft a safety. Oh, that's all well and good, but we don't have a center. What is more important to the success of your team? Keeping your offensive line together and consistent, or a safety or a cornerback? If you tell me a safety or a cornerback, I'm not going to argue with you because it's your opinion. But I'm going to devalue your opinion moving forward. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I'm going to question your opinion every time from there on out.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I thought we were going to address the safety not in the draft. I thought we were going to be able to. I thought we were a shoe-in to scoop one of them free agents, specifically a certain man that went to the New Orleans Saints. I was a little,
that was odd.
little peeved about that move, man, because I thought for sure we were going to land them. But hey, it is what it is.
What I'll say to that, man, is I can't fault a man for going home. You know,
Oh,
he went
yeah,
home.
absolutely.
You know, so can't fault the man for going home. They came back. They probably dropped some more money at him, and it's going home. So I can't fault him for that. I would have loved to see him in the Midnight Green and the Kelly Green next year. But hey, man, it happens. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's still some other guys out there that may not be as well known as him. There's still guys that'll be available via trade. You know, there's a guy in Baltimore that we may be able to snatch up. And, you know, we have a piece that they could use that we don't want, and they have a piece that we could use that they don't really want. You know, the guy number 18, you know, I'm ready to ship him out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is he still there?
My thoughts exactly, sir. My thoughts exactly.
I'm
But
thinking
yeah,
the defense, though, when you look at the defense, they're going to be getting that quarterbacks a little more. You're going to see a lot more hurries, a few more sacks than you saw last year. So maybe that corner and safety issue won't be as big of an issue as it maybe was last year, you know?
Take a little pressure off of them.
yeah,
Right.
And then there's when we slide on down here to the third pick, speaking of defense.
Man, I couldn't believe this. I couldn't believe this happened either.
I just want to say real quick for this one, Howie has a large set of kahunas that he developed in the last year that he did not have before last year. To actually sit there and wait, because I was sitting there and watching the second round, like I would like to get Dean here, but if he's dropped to the second round, there's a possibility he could drop to us in the third round, right? So I'm sitting there like, you know, it's day 2. I'm like, we're gonna see. I wish you would have picked him high, but I really love the center pick, and I think that was the right move, you know. And then pick round 3, pick 83 drops around. I hear real quick the Kobe Dean, inside linebacker, Georgia, another champion on the team. What are you guys' thoughts?
I thought it was great, man. I never thought, because there was a lot of news. I don't know if you were on Twitter or not at that time. There's a lot of speculation about like he needed surgery. He was going to be redshirted a full season. He declined the surgery. He had a previous injury history other than that. And then, you know, all the hype happens when we draft him. And then you see he was saying like, nah, I don't need surgery. I don't know what you talk about. Like everything's good. Howie said that he called like the doctors like 4 times just to make sure everything was all good. And then they said he was going to be participating in OTAs and everything. He's going to be good to go for the season. I couldn't be more excited because this is a huge, huge step up over like Alex Singleton, who we let go. But oh man, it's very exciting times here because Howie really never reaches out for a linebacker. You know, that's probably one of the, you know, the positions he really doesn't care about on that defense. He'll go for that defensive line all day, maybe corner, but linebacker is really one he doesn't really pay much attention to, I feel, past couple years.
Yeah, he's got amazing range. He's quick. The guy's tough. His range, I mean, sideline to sideline, he's going to be tough. He's definitely going to be tough. Yeah. And he's not huge, but he's really quick. He's got great feet. He's agile. Couldn't have gotten you better at a better spot, you know? That was a steal too.
Yeah, huge steal.
I honestly think that was, as far as draft picks go, one of the bigger steals of the draft, getting him in the third round. So what you've also done is you've given this guy something else to be motivated from, something else to push for, right? And I think there was some talk of his slide, and you know, Philadelphia Eagles benefited for it. Who knows? They could have been behind starting some of the rumors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe Howie's the one putting all that stuff out there, letting them slide.
But that was a perfect pick. You know, linebacker was definitely a position of need. We did bring in Kaiser White, but we can pair him with Nakobe Dean. That looks like a lot better 2 of the 3 linebackers than what we've been doing in the past. And then, depending on depth and things that we do, we may even be able to play some 3-4 next year with 4 linebackers out there. Because I think really we went to the 4-3 because we just didn't have enough good linebackers. Not that we can't do, some 4-3, some 3-4 and kind of mix up things, but I think we really went to a base 4-3 because we just didn't have enough at linebacker.
Yeah.
And this kind of helps with, taking care of the issue. I mean, he's a champ. Like I said before, he's a champ. Not a big stat guy, but sometimes stats are important. 72 tackles, 10.5 for a loss, 6 sacks, 2 picks in 2021 for the national championship, Georgia Bulldogs in the SEC. I don't say this during the football season because I am a Miami Hurricanes fan, but the SEC is the best conference in college football. So when you're able to go out and have those kind of numbers, then that's what you need. So I really love this pick for that.
Like, I don't know why he stayed away from like big, huge teams like that in the draft these past, 5 years or so. And he's finally starting to go for the top talent in some of these drafts now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a major change of philosophy, it seems. Yeah. And this kid's going to come in and he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to prove that he should have been a first rounder,
And the only people that are going to benefit from that is the Philadelphia Eagles fan base and locker room. Love it. Stories are writing itself, man. And to back up just for a second. So our first round pick, Jordan Davis, his mom is a lifelong Eagles fan.
Yeah.
So he told a story of growing up, how he had to go in another room and watch TV if the Eagles game was on and he didn't want to see it. Right. When he was a younger kid, or, if he wanted to watch something else, because that TV in the living room and his mom was going to be planted on the Eagles game. So much love to that. So it's kind of amazing. That's what she wanted. She wanted her son to be an Eagle. So that's great that, he got the opportunity to do that, because I did see a certain guy, last name Williams, first name Jameson. Mm-hmm. They got drafted to the Lions. And, I know this is an Eagles show, but the face he made.
He didn't look happy.
Oh, he didn't look happy at all. Yeah. Like, why am I being drafted there?
And the great thing was,
you're about to make millions of dollars. I don't want to.
Right. Now, another important thing about it is a lot of people thought that was the guy that we were targeting. He even said that how we told him that we love to pair you with Devontae Smith, right?
Yeah.
So you got teams over jumping because you're like, I'm going to grab him before the Eagles can. Thank you.
Yeah.
We had that deal with A.J. Brown already in place.
All they had to do was work out the details and get the T's crossed and the I's dotted to agree on it verbally. He obviously signed it I think it was yesterday when he actually came to the facility and signed it. But, you had to get everything worked out and the agreement in place before you could announce anything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How we out there playing mind games in the draft, huh?
Hey, I love it, man. Instead of being the one that mind games being played on, he was playing mind games for once.
I've never seen someone flip an opinion of himself in a whole city in like a matter of like 2 days. It's crazy. Everybody they wanted Howie gone. We wanted Howie gone. Yeah.
Listen, I probably made
the majority 50, of the fan base, definitely. Yeah.
I probably made 50 plus hashtag fire Howie Roseman posts last year. At least 50.
Yeah.
So, I'll give him that he had a good draft this year. Mm-hmm. But what I'm gonna say to him, this is a great start, but you haven't won me over yet.
Yeah.
You got some people
gotta continue this.
Yeah. Some people like, Howie had a great draft. I love Howie. He's the right guy. Yeah. And he manages the cap well.
Very easily backtrack. We know what he's capable of,
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is like when you cheat on your girlfriend, you get caught and she finds out, and then you come back and you act real good for a while because you don't want to lose her.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's where he's at right now. You did wrong.
Yeah.
You should be let go, but you're still here. So you're going to have to win back my trust.
Yeah.
Right.
We still got two firsts next year. You better be doing something nice with them next year too.
And like a scoring woman, like a scoring woman is going to take more than one good draft to win me back.
Yeah. What kills me is there's already people out there saying, yeah, we're going to get a quarterback in the first round next year because Hurts isn't going to succeed. I'm like, stop. I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah, I would much rather use that capital on, just getting pieces, maybe trade for someone nice like we did this year. Who knows?
Right.
Use one of those picks for a top prospect, trade the other. Who knows?
Now, if he
It's
really doesn't
limitless.
get it done, which I think is almost impossible with this lineup,
Mhm.
then yeah, maybe you do look at a quarterback. But I'm not. That's not what I'm. I don't anticipate that. Not at all.
Yeah.
I believe Hurts
And
will be
we got the
fine.
kid. We got the Carson Young kid. I mean, I saw a video today. Him casually throwing a 70-yard bomb at the practice facility. Yeah. So you never
Oh,
know.
you mean the guy? You mean the guy with the bad knees already?
Yeah. Hey, man. You say bad knees. I say he's still young.
That's
I
the
don't expect him to have to play anytime soon anyway. You
well.
know.
That's the big concern. You know, if you're already coming into the league with bad knees,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
big concern. But I digress. We still got a couple more picks to talk about here.
Mhm.
So we have Kyron Johnson. He's an inside linebacker from Kansas. He played both linebacker and defensive end in Kansas. So he's a versatile piece for us.
Yeah.
So we talk about the edge rusher we wanted. We got an edge rusher and a linebacker in one.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't know he was a hybrid.
Yeah. So and then you think about we did sign a gentleman, I believe, in the offseason that is another guy that can play linebacker and defensive end. Don't know if we remember his name, do we? I think it was Hassan.
Yeah. Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, I think that guy. So we got, a couple of versatile pieces. So you got to think outside the box. You have guys that you can move around. You have guys that you can go out there and stunt and look like you're going to run a 3-4 and then drop them on the edges and run a 5-2. You just have so many different things that you can do with these versatile pieces that we're getting. With him, he's a Sam linebacker in college, so he could play the Sam behind Hassan Reddick. He could also they could both play together. He could play the Mike. He's versatile enough. He probably could play the Will, but I believe that he'll probably be a Will if he plays with the starters because I think Nakobe Dean is going to be the Mike.
Mhm.
I see him as the Mike. If Kyron Johnson's in the game, he'll probably be the Will if he's in with those two guys, him and Reddick. So I think versatile pick, good pickup for us. What are you guys' thoughts?
The totality of it, just the defensive side of the ball, all those different pieces that are versatile. Like Wyatt was saying, it's going to relieve some of that pressure that's on the safeties and corners. That you're not getting beat every play, and they're not going deep on you. You got too much pressure on the ball, too much pressure up front for them to even be that for us to jump up and get a corner or safety unnecessarily. I think these pieces are much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think maybe if they do go out and get like another corner and, try to figure out what they're doing at safety, it's very reminiscent of like the 2017, 2018 season where we had so much depth there on the defense, where not only can, you have guys with hybrid, switch positions, but you can swap them in and out at will as well.
Mhm.
You can keep that defense, you can just kind of swap them in and out. That way they're not gassed the whole game. You don't have that one defensive line in all game. And I think that was what was nice about Schwartz is because he was swapping guys in and out all the time. I don't know if I didn't really pay attention too much if they were doing that under Gannon last year or not. But I feel like with the depth that we have now, once they get at least the safety and corner in, they can start swapping guys in and out, keeping them, healthy.
Yeah, and fresh.
Ready.
That health is a big deal. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of seasons where it's just they get so banged up, and then teams are running all across you. So to have that wealth of players is a luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to build up, especially if you want to be successful. We know injuries are going to happen. We don't know who it is. We don't want them to happen, but it's just a part of the game. Another couple of points here, since I'm pointing out points on certain players. 4.4 second 40-yard dash. At 6'2" 235 pounds. They make a move.
That's fast, yeah.
And he moved to the edge rusher in 2021. 6.5 sacks, 8.5 tackles for loss. First year ever playing edge rusher.
Jeez.
That's a man. That's a man with
amazing.
some talent. And this is at Kansas. This is not at small corner Louisiana State University. This is at Kansas.
Yeah.
So you're going up against top quality opponents, not Division II guys and Division III guys most of the year. So very impressive from him. Like most said, I think to get two linebackers, to get a defensive tackle, with limited picks to do the trades and different things. I think this was a solid draft for defense. Obviously, free agents, undrafted free agents, are going to be an important part of our team moving forward as well. But just off the draft, I think we did good for what was there, the quality of players that we got for what we had in those positions. And, that's the most important part. So before we move on to our last pick, any other thoughts on Kyron Johnson?
No, man,
I'm good with it. Yeah.
All right. So lastly, we pick, and I'm gonna hope I don't butcher this, but it might happen. Grant Calcaterra.
Calcaterra.
Yeah, there we go. Calcaterra.
Yeah.
Tight end, SMU. My concern with this guy is he's already quit football because of concussions.
Really? I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, he's already he retired from Oklahoma for concussions and then came back. So when I see concussions and you get into the point where you had to retire, I'm a little concerned. But the thing with it is, though, he went to SMU, caught 38 balls for 460 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's a deaf guy, right? We got Dallas Goedert. We got Tyreek Jackson, who will be back from the injury at some point this year. Jack Stoll, Noah Togai, and then JJ Arcega-Whiteside, who I hope gets cut. I just
was hoping you weren't even going to mention him, but
I'm sorry, but I have to say this. I just don't want to see him on the Eagles, right? He can go somewhere else and be successful, a la Mac Hollins and some of the other dudes. I just don't want to see him on the Eagles. I don't want to be remembered of the guys that we passed up on and we drafted this guy with slow feet. So I just want you to just go somewhere else and, you can be successful, but just not here. I don't want to see you.
Take Rieger with you.
Yeah. Package them together.
Neither
if
of those
we can
guys
get more out of that, let's do
it. I don't see how they're even in the NFL really. It seems like neither one of them can catch. Where did these guys come from? How far down the depth chart did they go for Rieger? Seriously.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go back. I'm not going to go back on that.
Days after they announced that Arcega-Whiteside moving to tight end, they draft this guy who immediately jumps him on the depth chart.
Right. I think they're
say
just going to have
the
him in
same
as a blocking tight end, if anything. Like they can't possibly think they're going to throw him the ball.
Well, hey, man, if you throw the ball
that he's been doing really
3 times or less, he'll catch them all.
Man.
So, yeah, guys, your thoughts?
Can't catch.
Your thoughts on our new tight end draftee?
I'm a little worried now that you mentioned about the concussions. I didn't know about all that news. I don't know. I saw a lot of comparisons to Zach Ertz, to be honest, which I'm cool with. He had a nice career here. I don't know. I could see him as a guy that, like you said, fill in his depth, but maybe it's a guy that might not even be in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform here in the next couple years. Who knows? Maybe get moved to a practice squad or something.
Yeah, so he almost took a job as a EMT a couple of years ago. So, hey, maybe he'll just stick around as one on the sideline helping out. Take him in the booth. But I mean, it's like you say, it's a filler. It's a backup. Because you don't know what Goddard, if he's going to get hurt, how far down the depth chart you're going to have to go with the tight end.
Yeah, especially with Tyree Jackson starting on the year injured. So yeah. You might want to just make sure you have enough solid bodies, these camp bodies. And, it's all upside. If this doesn't pan out, he's going to be overshadowed by all the other great picks anyway, right?
Yeah.
And no one's going to look at Howie and be like, oh, you did a bad job with your 6th-round pick, after what he did with some of the other picks, right? So it's kind of like it's a no-lose situation for Howie. So I think, it wasn't a bad it wasn't a bad pick at all. I think it was just, he must have not seen anything he really wanted some of the other positions and knowing that he was going to be able to get some talent for some of those through undrafted free agents. So speaking of, undrafted free agents, it's a couple of guys that we probably want to discuss based on, what we did not have in the draft. First, we want to talk about cornerback. So 2 really high-rated cornerbacks, Mario Goodrich from Clemson and Josh Joby from Alabama, both went undrafted, and they both ended up signing with the Eagles after the draft. Mario Goodrich was our highest paid guy of the unrestricted free agents. Undrafted free agents. They gave him $7,000 fully guaranteed. So they definitely have some hope for him and what he'll be able to do. He's a 6-foot corner, 176 pounds. Started all his games as a senior. 48 tackles, 11 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. So this is a guy that should be able to come in and compete for a spot. What are you guys' thoughts on that pickup?
Not a bad pickup. It fills another need. Don't know, not an immediate impact pickup, but bring him in, work him out, see what we can get.
Yeah, I mean, you find a lot of these diamonds in the roughs on the undrafted free agents. What was that stat that they mention every year? Is like there's more undrafted free agents in the Hall of Fame than like number 1 and 2 or 3 picks or something. Yeah. So I mean, it's quite possible one of these guys could be that dude for our team. And with the concern that Howie didn't cover any of those areas in the draft, it was nice to see immediately after that draft you saw like 3 or 4 corners signed like right away. So they're trying to do something there. Whether they look in free agency as well, who knows, or trades. Maybe they'll focus more on safety when it comes to that. But I think those 2 guys you mentioned, those are very good pickups here as far as undrafted free agents.
Right.
Yeah,
especially learning under Darius Slay too.
Big play Slay is there.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend. Big play Slay. We don't get in the playoffs without that guy last year. Shout out to Big Play Slay, man. He's a man. Yeah, shout out to him, bro.
Shout out. To come in and really live up to his name is beautiful.
And what I loved the most about him last year was how he went at Devontae Smith in practice, bro. You see the footage of him just going at Devontae, you know what I'm saying? Preparing him for being able to go out and compete against those other corners that he had to deal with during the season. But speaking of one of the other 2 cornerbacks that we actually picked up, Josh Jobe, cornerback from Alabama. He's a 6'2", 182 pounds. He was projected to be a day 3 pick at worst, but he had a turf toe injury that kind of hurt him in 2021.
Oh no!
And that and he wasn't able to work out during the pre-draft process. But with turf toe, if you give it time and allow it to heal, you come back from it just as good as before you had it. It's just giving it the time. If you don't give it the time to heal properly, it's going to be a nagging injury.
And it's real time. We're talking months,
Yeah, he didn't play a lot during the 2021 season due to it. So he didn't have a good year in college due to it, and he didn't do pre-draft workouts due to it. So he's giving himself the time for it to actually heal.
Yeah. That's good.
So being able to grab a guy like that in free agency is always good. Well, as an undrafted free agent, is always going to be great for you. And then we also got Josh Blackwell. He's a cornerback from Duke. He's undersized, missed most of the 2020 season with a knee injury, but he ran a 4.34 at Duke's Pro Day. So even if he's not a guy that we bring in as a corner, would be a good guy to put back there to get punts and not have some of our other more important players. And not that he's not important because, punt return and kick returners are important. But being able to put him back there and let some of those other guys not have to worry about dealing with that duty could be, big for us. That's the first thing I thought when I saw his size and the speed that he has.
Yeah, then, I don't want to see Reagor getting punts ever again.
Ever. I don't want to see. That's another one I don't want to see in an Eagles uniform ever again. No.
Let alone in an Eagles uniform.
Go return punts for somebody else.
This dude running backwards on like every punt return. I couldn't believe it.
I'm like, do you think you Barry Sanders? You're Harry Slanders,
really?
You are Harry Slanders, not Barry Sanders.
It's actually not good for us to watch.
It is.
So hopefully, he could be the guy to kind of take that role. That's what I thought about when I thought about Josh Blackwell, not as much as an actual corner. And obviously, in certain situations where you may go 4 corners, you never know who you may need to put in. If they put in a small, speedy guy, maybe he's a guy that can match up with him in those situations, but mainly as a kick returner. Was the first thing that I thought about when I thought about him. Now, here's a guy that I know Mo kind of loves here, and that's Carson Strong. Want to say the first thing about it, his name's Carson, so that's a little bit of a rubs me the wrong way.
It's a
I
red
don't
flag.
know.
The wound is still open, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Get flashbacks.
Yeah, man. So
PTSD.
exactly.
Yeah. No,
So I saw Carson.
I like to pick up.
I didn't even
though.
see
like
Strong.
the
I just saw
pickup.
Carson. I was like,
No,
I don't know about all this.
What do you think about it, Mo?
Up just because you're kind of addressing something ahead of next year's draft, ahead of this year, ahead of because I don't want to see Minshew either, and I mean he's not the answer, and the people that are saying trade Minshew, get rid of Minshew and bring back Nick Foles, I'm like, if you don't stop, get over it. Okay?
Nah, I don't
Right.
want Nick Foles, man.
I don't want Nick Foles
so
back
just to
either.
have somebody there that is learning.
You
The
can go to
system.
Jacksonville, hang out with Dougie and Trevor.
Your boy Dougie P.
But we got a guy
Bother
in
Trevor
with a
Lawrence.
cannon for an arm. We bring in a guy with a cannon for an arm. Sure, he's got some issues with his knees. But I mean,
45-year-old
at
knees
least you can
already.
work him out. You can work him out, see what he's got, see if he's any good, if he's going to be able to be around. And
Don't work him out
you're
too
just
much.
preparing. If anything, if Hurts doesn't work out this year, you have some more bait out there, some more trade bait, or get ready for the draft. So
Yeah, the pick just kind of seemed like it just screamed depth. Like it was just a depth chart. Like just add another man to the roster just in case.
right.
Now I'm not sure. Do you think they would? Because a lot of speculation about keeping Minshew and stuff is they're going to use him as trade bait. If they had that one great game here against the Jets last year. Well, a lot of people seem to think that he was the franchise QB after that, apparently. But
Apparently he did too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Apparently he did
sure
too.
Did. He was out in the street hugging his dad in his flight jacket.
He went to
Sirianni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have talked to Sirianni like, I think I should be the starter. Sirianni was like, no.
I don't think so.
You weren't brought in to be the starter? No.
No.
Do you see him like getting traded? You just use him to, maybe get a corner or a safety or something, or maybe another depth piece. Who knows?
Man, we could package Minshew, Rigger, Dillard, and Ortega-Whiteside. Let's go
you see
get
how
a
Jack
safety.
Dillard got this all season? He looks huge now, man. Hopefully, I don't know unless we trade him.
And still ain't gonna start.
That's not. Yeah, he won't start, but it'll be nice depth for that O line.
If he mind right, but yeah, it's a possibility.
I think Minshew slips around just for depth. I mean, the Carson guy is not going to come in if something happens to Hurts. So
yeah, it's not a bad backup to have in Minshew.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when
not
I picture
a good one, but not a bad one.
Not a good one, but I would say he's probably one of the better backups of the league.
Yeah,
he fits that role.
When I think of Carson Strong, I think of Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day with those knee braces on.
Oh, this huge.
Yeah, that's what I think about when I think about Carson Strong. Because I'm like, this dude's gonna need like 2 of those for each leg.
Man.
But he does have an arm. But like I say, man, those knees are definitely worrisome. Now, someone else to highlight, actually 2 people to highlight. We did get a safety, Reed Blankenship from Middle Tennessee. He was a 5-year starter, 419 tackles in his career, had 110 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 9 pass breakups this past season. So not the big name that a lot of people were thinking about, but safety is one of those positions where it just seems like it does not matter. If you're good, you're good. It doesn't matter if you went to Middle Tennessee State, if you went to, Carver Community College, Florida Gulf College, wherever, it does not matter. If you're a good player, you'll find your way to the league and you'll be good. So I think that he has an opportunity, especially with the safeties that we have, to get out there and play and see what he can do.
What kind of size does he have?
It doesn't say his size for him. I think there's not as much known about him as of yet.
Okay.
But I would wager
depth helps.
Yeah, I'd wager that he's at least 6 foot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was curious why we let Rodney McLeod walk, man, because he seemed like he finished that season out last year pretty strong.
Yeah, that McLeod walking was kind of tough, man. I really wanted McLeod to stay because I think he was a leader on the defense.
Yeah.
But I did
The
see
deal
that.
didn't seem like it was that much, was it?
I don't think it was the deal. I just think how he's kind of at the point, and this is something else I like about him. You don't like it when it happens, but when you sit back and think about it, it makes sense. He's kind of now saying, I'd rather move on a year early than a year too late.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yes, I
Start
kind of think
trying
that's
to,
where it's at.
get younger in these positions here ahead of time. That way, in a couple years, everybody's right where they need to be. You can make a nice run to get a Super Bowl here.
Yeah. I would have liked to have McLeod, but I'm not upset. It wasn't something where he just decided to leave. We didn't resign him, so I appreciate what he did. He's another one of the guys from our Super Bowl team. So, appreciate him for that. And shout out to Malcolm Jenkins as well.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about him, but yeah, big part of our Super Bowl victory. Good captain. He was here. Great teammate. And
great for the city.
Yeah, great in the community in Philly, and he still does do things in the community in Philly. Am I right, Mo?
Yes, sir.
Because I mean, you're the guy that's in Philly. You have a heartbeat of Philly and all that. You from there, so even though you may not live there, you still like, what I'm saying?
Yeah, I still feel all the energy. I got all the energy right here.
I get a lot of it too. Don't get me wrong.
It travels. Yeah, we travel well. Believe me, Eagles fans travel well.
Yeah.
I don't feel the same love from Philadelphia doing basketball season though, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. We're getting it done right now. I keep glancing away. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Maybe in a couple years we get to that point, where, like we were saying, Howie's starting to slowly build this team, get younger. In a couple years, they're all in their prime at that point in time. Hopefully, Hurts works out. We still have him in there. Then maybe you can go all in like some of these teams, like how the Rams were doing, the Bucks were doing, where you say, all right, screw these picks. We're going and we're picking up the best possible guys to make a run at a chip this year.
Right.
We have the roster. All we need is this elite guy, try to get him here, and then you make a run for it. That would be the perfect goal, I feel. Just get the team set up where you can go all in. Who knows?
Right.
We gotta get one for Slay, bro. We gotta get one for Slay before he goes. You gotta get one for Slay. Like everybody on the team, it should be do it for a big play. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta get this dude one. This dude has been one of the best corners in the league. Came over to Philly, and let's be honest, he was in the trash secondary 2 years ago. Trash. And he still was out there doing the best that he could. Last year, we got Steven Nelson, who's not a great corner, but was way better than anything else we had. That's why he started on the other side. And, he kind of helped solidify that. I kind of hate that we didn't bring him back for another 1 year deal, too.
I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
I think he was manageable.
Yeah. But, hey, we'll see what happens with some of these guys that we picked up. Hopefully they work out. But one other guy I did want to talk about was a running back that we did happen to go grab. We are always looking for a running back. That's Kennedy Brooks. He's from Oklahoma. He had 3,000-yard seasons. He has no guaranteed money, according to what was told. He averaged 7 yards per carry in college. So dude was getting it there. But, sometimes it translates and sometimes it doesn't. But I just like the fact that we went out and said, we're looking at guys that are still available. And we're saying, this is a guy we're going to identify, good stats in college. So let's see if maybe he can translate some of that to the NFL. Running back size doesn't really matter. As long as you're willing to work and you have that explosiveness, which he has to have some of the average 7 yards a carry, then, he could be a guy that, hey, take somebody out. And, I've been a big Miles Sanders fan the first couple of years for Sanders. But, I mean, I'm a big proponent of the best ability is availability, and he hasn't shown me a lot of that ability.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And even his decision-making at times, it just seems like he kind of second-guesses himself. He doesn't hit the hole right away. But when he does, man, he can break out on huge runs, which is great. He has the potential.
And the other backs are serviceable, but none of them have, that like it's in that explosiveness or that, they're not getting the kind of production that you get out of Miles Sanders.
I want to see Gainwell in year 2. Gainwell was the guy that I feel had the most opportunity to expand his game from last year.
Yeah. He played really well.
Yeah, but I want to see him year 2. really get in there. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing back Jordan Howard, or
I was
getting
just
another
going to say
big back.
that, man.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about him. I would love to have him back. He's been playing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played good for us as Thunder to the Lightning.
I was going to say
guys.
we need at
Right.
least one like bruiser back on on
That's
the
what
team.
that's what I keep saying. Like, why do we and every time we get one, then you let them go. Come on.
Yeah, like I feel like if you just had Miles Sanders, maybe not use him as that primary back, kind of just the old 1-2 punch, kind of like LeGarrette and like Jay Ajayi a couple years ago. It's like, just keep using that 1-2 tandem.
I liked that.
Yeah, that was great. I wish that would have worked out a little longer, man. But
yeah, I was disappointed we didn't keep Blunt.
Yeah, and then maybe you can, prolong Sanders' health by doing that as well.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I think you can't like what Sirianni tried to do at the beginning of the year, like not play him. Yeah. But you have to kind of have him on a run count. Like you got to have him on a snap count because if as of now, he hasn't shown us that if he's just the guy, that he's going to stay healthy. And also this year, he's got to get in that end zone, bro. You can't have almost 1,000-yard season and not get in the end zone, bro. You got to get in there, bro. You got to punch it in. I mean, everybody on the team was getting touchdowns last year, except for Miles Sanders. We need that, bro.
Yeah, believe me, I had him in 3 fantasy leagues.
Boston Scott, who's way smaller than him, getting touchdowns. Giant killer. Boston Scott at it again.
Scott reminds me of Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
Right. We'll say like a poor man's Darren Sproles, but Darren Sproles, like he can catch. He has the ability to really break runs, but sometimes he just has that play where you're like, dude, what you doing?
Right.
And it's like a fumble or like a miss or something. The rest of the time he's straight, but
same with Sanders too.
Yeah. Sanders, man. I've seen this man get a delayed handoff and go 70 yards and still not get a touchdown. I'm like, bro, if you don't lower your shoulder and get them last 3 or 4 yards,
dive.
You know what I'm saying? Hold the ball out, do something.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Do the high on the ball, hold the ball.
Right, something.
It's crazy. But yeah, man, it's gonna be, I think, a really good season, guys. I think
for sure
we're gonna be able to
Super Bowl, baby.
He says it every year, y'all. So y'all know we could be like the worst team in the league. He'd be like Super Bowl, baby. We could be the Detroit Lions. He'd be like Super Bowl, baby.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think we'll be better than the Arlington football team.
Definitely better than the Arlington football team, and it's going to be very enjoyable to watch the Arlington football team.
Markedly better than we were last year.
Oh, already we're already better because we addressed needs. We didn't address them all, but it's hard to do that in one draft. But like you said, some of the people we got, we may be able to cover up some of those holes. There's still trades to be made. There's still guys that are going to get cut from rosters because you may be in a position where you're pretty good, but you got 3 or 4 really good guys in front of you. So a lot of ways to still get better before the season's over, man. I'm really excited about the season. Glad both of you gentlemen were able to hop on tonight, So any shout outs before we get out of here, guys?
Shout out to Howie. That's my only shout out.
Big shout out to Howie.
Big shout out to
Eagles
Howie.
Organization. Dude did it right this year.
Yeah, big up.
And the Sideline Sports Network too, man. Shout out to them.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Sideline Sports. Shout out my show on Friday nights, the Play Call Sports Talk show, playcallsportstalk.com. Shout out my co-host at Box Talk Sports. And just want to say real quick, man, appreciate you guys hopping on. Appreciate everybody that watches or checks out the replay. Make sure you share the show. Make sure you like the show. Make sure you subscribe. And with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the week. See y'all next time. Same station.
See you guys. All right.